Hi everyone, this is the week 5 support video. I've got the big sun right in my eye, so I do apologize for that. So I'm going to take my video off, but just know that I am a human and I'm talking to you. All right, so let's get started. For the task list this week, you're going to watch this support video. I have attached the PowerPoint and then also the KEA Campbell Watley Bratton article, and you can see that right here, and it is around culturally responsive assessment for African American students with learning and behavioral challenges. And look, Bratton is actually from San Diego. So anyway, it's a good article just to think about some of the culturally responsive elements that we need to do when we're assessing. We went through just to kind of go over last night. I'll pull up the PowerPoint. We went through the Woodcock-Johnson, and we got through the whole thing, although we were tired at the end. The activity 5 is I'm looking for you to explain how you construct and administer curriculum-based measures, curriculum-based assessments, and of course commercial academic achievement tests, which by the way you won't construct, but there you will administer them. And so I am looking for the first two for both the construct and administer. For number 2, I want you to describe, which means don't just tell me what task analysis and error analysis are, but I want you to explain how you'll use task analysis or error analysis. You can give an example. That's a good way to explain. And remember, task analysis is just breaking down the assignment into specific steps. Error analysis is when you look at what their responses are and then you build your teaching, your instruction, and the curriculum based on what their needs are. And then I'm asking you to identify possibly the informal assessment, the work sample that you're going to be using for your assessment report on your students. So just write a few sentences, including the directions, the rationale, why you decided to use it, and then how you're going to administer and score it. And then the last thing is the feedback. So how are you taking care of yourself? How are you balancing your practicum hours, your school, and the rest of your life? Then I went through some assessment supports to go with the chapter and some examples so that you could see what different types of informal assessments might look like. And then the online tools. So let me go over those. I said I would go over them in the video because I know you guys were tired last night too. So one thing is we have the Ames Web. And Ames Web is something that's used here in, just actually go here, in San Diego. It may be used at your school, or your teacher may be using it, or maybe not. And so if your teacher's using it, then I recommend you come to the website and you learn a little bit more about that. So there's actually these webinars that are free that you can watch just to get an idea about what Ames Web is and how you use it for your students, okay? The next one is EasyCBM. So there's 2 levels, the Lite and the Deluxe. The Lite is free. So I am going to, actually I'll do this, Rebecca Jazz. I'm going to go through and create an account. I don't think I have one for San Diego, so hopefully this is the case. Oops. And what you can do is, so here we go, we've got Rebecca Ches, University of San Diego, California, and then how did you hear about it? And we could just put a friend or colleague, and it'll be your colleague telling you about it. So save password. All right, so now I'm successfully registered, and then I can come in here. Now, this is the dashboard. So you've got your students, your measures, your reports, your interventions, your resources, and then your account. So that's if you want to upgrade usually. You can see that they also have this around Spanish, and then there's the deluxe version. So one thing you can do is you can actually put all of your students in here, so you can create a group. And so I'll call this my EDSP 370/570 group, and check that off. Okay, and then I can add students, and I can add 200 students. So we can just call you student number 1, and we're going to use John Smith, and John Smith is a 10th grader, male. We can do race, ethnicity, and special education, yes, ELL, yes, and create. And you can see now we've got John. You can actually do this for your entire class, which is really nice. So that's the students. Then we're going to look at measures. And so remember we had a 10th grader, so it goes up to 8th grade. So there we go. We've got a 10th grader who's working more at the 8th grade. So we've got the student copy and the assessor's copy. So here's, for example, reading, and then the assessor's copy. And it's got it all broken down just like I showed you in class with the probe around reading. So, and it gives you directions. So you have 1 minute and a prompt here. You set the timer. You, while the student's reading, mark errors with a slash. At 1 minute, mark the last word read with a bracket. When the student gets to a logical stopping place, say stop. So you're not stopping them just because it's 1 minute, but then you're allowing them to kind of finish. And then you can go total words read, number of errors, words per minute. See, and then you can enter their score. And so you can do that. So we've got reading fluency, comprehension, algebra, geometry, data analysis, numbers, and operations. Let's take a look at the 2. So same thing. Multiple choice, comprehension, numbers and operations, measurements, number, operations, and algebra. So you can see that we've got this. And you can, right here, you also have an online test so that you can take it online. So that's another nice little piece about this for some of the areas. So let's go back to the dashboard. So for interventions, you need to upgrade, but they'll actually help you with doing that. But you can actually write a report. So we can do all of the students in our class, and we could put it into Excel, which is really nice. And if we had actually gone through and assessed somebody, then you can actually do it by student as well. So you can, you have this really nice way to analyze and get a report, which you can then just do a screenshot of and throw into your assessment report if you want. All right, so the next website is Intervention Central. So here they have academic interventions and behavior interventions. I'm going to go to the academic because that's a lot of what we're talking about in this class. And you can see that they've got intervention apps, they've got reading, they've got math, phonics, academic anxiety, cooperative learning, self-management, writing, fluency, comprehension, general academics, study, math, and early math fluency. So there's a lot of things in here that you can really build upon. I'm also going to click on this is the behavior ones, if you see some behavior stuff going on. And then right here it says CBMs and downloads. So you can actually go through here and find a lot of really great, free, useful CBMs and things to monitor and support your students. So please let me know if you have any questions about that. Then there's PBISworld.com, and here it's, if you've got, this is all around the behaviors. So here you can actually be like, oh, okay, we've got the student out of their seat. You click on that, and then it says, this is what it looks like to be out of your seat, and it goes through and gives you a bunch of examples. If this is does this describe your student? Yes. And then before you start, a few important things. So you're going to try multiple interventions, and each intervention should be tried for a minimum of 4 weeks. And more than one intervention may be implemented at the same time. Collect and track the data and its effect. If your data indicates no progress after a minimum of 6 months, then you consider moving on to Tier 2. So once you've tried doing Tier 1 for a significant amount of time, I don't know if I agree with 6 months. I think sometimes you can know a little bit sooner, but what they're saying is you can't just try this for 2 weeks and then say, oh, we need to move on to Tier 2. So here's all the Tier 1 interventions, and you'll see there's a lot. Let me go back. And then here's some data tracking forms and strategies. So when I ask you about the progress monitoring, here's a bunch of forms that you can use. And then, okay, I've tried this, and now I need to go to Tier 2. And then here's the Tier 2 ways of dealing with it. And you'll see that some of the things on Tier 1 are actually on Tier 2. And then, of course, there's Tier 3 as well. But those are not really for this class, because right now we're doing mostly just the assessment piece. So here's some more data tracking tools. And it's just a really useful website I found. Okay, did we get through all of them? So we did AIMSweb, CBM, Intervention Central, and PBIS. I think so. All right, so you're going to be reading Chapter 7. Ooh, I forgot to put in the KIA article as well here. Sorry about that. And then you'll be doing the critical reflection number 5, including the online assessment activity, which is just, oh, that's where I put it, right down here. See, I didn't forget it. I just did not put it in the right area. There we go. The critical reflection, and including the online assessment activity, which is just going and exploring these websites and seeing if there's anything that will help you through your assessment process. Let's click back here. So once again, for this week, you have the critical reflection. You should be practicing the Woodcock-Johnson and possibly starting to administer it at your school site. So make sure you practice lots and lots so that you are really smooth in your administration of that. You can also start administering your criterion reference tests, whether it's the Brigance or whether it's EasyCBM or AIMSweb. But something where you're really looking at a criteria for that student, and then start collecting work samples. And we'll be talking more about these in the next few weeks. So if you have any questions, as always, please reach out to me. I really do want to support you in any way I can. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you on Tuesday.